So let's look at a couple more example problems for finding a missing angle in some type of triangle. And we really just need one key piece of information to be able to solve these problems. That the angles in a triangle, these three angles, always add up to 180 degrees. If we're talking about a flat surface, which for most of basic geometry, we're going to assume that the surface is flat. So let's write that down, that the angles in a triangle on some type of flat space add up to 180 degrees. And like I mentioned, since we're dealing with a flat plane, a flat surface, that's how we know this adds up to 180. But if we were looking at, let's say, the surface of a sphere, then it's going to be different. Or if we look at the surface of the inside of a sphere, in those cases, it would add up to either greater than or less than 180 degrees. But for flat surfaces, it is 180. So to solve these problems, to find this missing angle, we just need to set up an equation. Since we know that this angle plus this angle plus this angle, those add up to 180. So let's actually add them together. 29 degrees plus 109 degrees plus x degrees is equal to 180 degrees. So to solve this, we'll combine like terms. If we add 20 to 109, that brings us to 129. 9 more brings us to 138 degrees. And now to solve for x, we just need to subtract 138 degrees on each side. So we can find, if we subtract 130, that brings us to 50. Subtracting 8 more brings us to 42. So this is what we think is the answer. But to check this, we would just plug it back in for a missing x value and add these together and make sure they do add up to 180. So you want to check this with your calculator, but 29 plus 42 plus 109, that is 180 degrees. So 42 is our correct answer here. And let's do one more of these problems. So we again have a triangle with some missing x value that we need to find. And we know that the angles in this triangle are going to add up to 180 degrees. So let's write out our equation that this angle plus this angle right here, this 124 degree angle, plus this missing angle, which we call x, is equal to 180 degrees. And to solve this, we will first combine like terms. So let's add 3 to this. We get to 127. 20 more brings us to 147. And at this point, to solve for x, we just need to subtract. Let's subtract 147 on each side. So x degrees, well, we take 180 and we subtract 140, that would be 40, and then subtract 7 more, brings us to 33 degrees. And this is what we think is the right answer, but to check, we'll plug it back in, and then actually add these three together and see if we get to 180. So 23 and 33, that's 56. Add 6 more, that brings us to, or add 6 to 124 brings us to 130, and add 50 to that does bring us to 180. So adding these together, it does look like 33 is the answer that makes sense.